Salamaturan. We come before you, dear hearts, with more to explain to you. Around you, the last aspects of the dark are finally losing their grip upon you. This is because of what is being accomplished by our Earth allies. Many times before, our joint efforts looked set to overwhelm the dark, but each time the numerous moles within the ranks of our Earth allies alerted this last dark cabal to the impending danger. This time, we are at last invited to participate fully in this party and can enjoy a most deserved celebration. As we await this momentous moment in your history, we can assure you that the results of what is about to happen are to be most successful. Currently, our fleet liaison officers are supervising the swift winding up of those tasks remaining at our end. But the bulk of this undertaking is done, and some truly grand times lie ahead. Very shortly, we expect some major decisions to be proclaimed by a number of new governments. These unprecedented declarations are to set the stage for our arrival on your shores. As you are all too aware, getting your world to this point has been quite a challenge. Your global society was infested with layers upon layers of dark agents originally put in place by your former overlords, the Anunnaki. These shadowy gangs were ruthless in maintaining control and inflaming the myriad schisms that have kept you, divided and conquered, for so long. The pivotal element was to clean out these seemingly endless layers of infestation one by one. Any momentary lapse of attention was pounced upon by the dark, who literally seeped through the cracks caused by carelessness or betrayal. These little setbacks warded off this growing momentum for change for over 3 decades. Now, at long last, the moment of victory is at hand. When the last few pieces are in place, we duly expect the many changes we have all been longing for to begin manifesting. These changes are designed to rapidly stabilize your world and encourage global harmony. Our concern is to stop the dark's recently established plans for global economic collapse. Once we neutralize this treachery, your world can move away from a multitude of disasters. The prime disaster in the making is, of course, global warming. 3 main factors contribute to this phenomenon. First is the ravaging effect of industrialization. In the past 2 decades, this blight has spread massively into the developing world, especially the highly populated nations of China and India. These latter are now caught up in a spiral of surging industrial production and attendant rising pollution. This is on top of the enormous damage already inflicted over 200 years by the nations of Europe and North America. Second is the natural process of transformation of Mother Earth as she, like you, changes back into a fully conscious being. As this happens, processes come into play that cause her ice caps to melt, her atmosphere to heat up, and her flora and fauna to undergo great changes. The third factor is the hyperactivity of the sun. Here, colossal outpourings of coronal discharges into the solar system affect Mother Earth's upper atmosphere and provide conditions for big changes. Unchecked global pollution is growing rapidly. Its importance in this mix lies in the fact that it acts as the catalyst for and speeds up the effects of the other 2 factors. Remember, Tier 1s, you reside in a holistic reality. The reality affects you, and you affect your reality. It is true that this is a time of grand change. However, your unconscious efforts of the last 200 years greatly influence the immensity of the changes that you now see around you. This growth in responsibility gave birth first to the emotional and then the scientific desire to care for the living spaceship that supports you. Currently, you are facing urgent challenges. First, how to effectively respond to the grave requirements of a swiftly eroding environment. Second, how to quickly deploy technologies capable of either alleviating or preferably reversing the present hazardous planetary conditions. This involves another immediate need, the question of how to govern yourselves. The manifest inability of most of your governments to serve their citizenry points to the necessity to rethink the premise of governmental responsibility toward its constituents. The rise of the influence of giant multinational corporations and the vast increase in the costs of political campaigning has skewed the fundamental relationship between the people and their elected officials. A case in point is the issue of global warming. Despite a number of international agreements and dedicated grassroots activism, the problem of how to control the emissions of greenhouse gases and many other pollutants is not even close to a viable solution. The present momentum of a global economy dominated by multinationals can lead only to inevitable catastrophe. This is why a new economic direction is an essential first step and why the program should be put into effect by our Earth allies is so vital to everyone. Prosperity unleashed without a purpose solves nothing. Therefore, a constituent of the upcoming prosperity programs will be a series of objectives whose focus is to quickly transmute the factors that imprison you. Freedom is a state of mind, and it confers an active responsibility to self and others. Debt forgiveness also involves goals that induce social responsibility. The ills of the past should be remedied in a manner that forever prevents their reoccurrence. All these prerequisites shape the new economic system should be instigated once the present American regime is driven from office. These crying needs are bringing the impending solutions into play. Our liaisons and diplomatic personnel are very excited at the prospect of the imminent downfall of the last stronghold of the dark. As you forge ahead with a new reality, its many building blocks will become visible. Each block will represent an aspect that makes the whole possible. We see first contact in this light. But much still needs to be done before we can move out from under the cloak put around us by this dark cabal. Once the UFO cover-up is put to flight, we will naturally be seen in our true colors as your benevolent space family. Completing this first contact mission with the peoples of Mother Earth allows us to assist you openly in resolving your environmental problems. However, the nature of our technology requires a reality that is beyond the dark realm that has smothered you for so long. Thus, with our help, each upward step of your new reality permits yet another, each one accelerating your progress toward your ultimate goal, your return to full consciousness. Your transformation to date has introduced you to various bits of the whole process. Taken in isolation, your experiences can be discouraging. It is thus so important for you to maintain the perspective of the big picture to avoid being sucked down into the minutiae of daily life. The bigger picture can help you comprehend how the chaos around you is sweeping toward only one possible outcome, your inevitable and destined victory. As it is difficult for a limited conscious being to see beyond the daily malarkey, it helps to look upon your world as a comedy of errors. Try to laugh at this vaudeville and be easy on yourself during your periods of exasperation. Look to the divine purpose of these end times, the birth of a golden new reality. Together, we are indeed victorious. Today, we touched on some of the many elements coming together to produce your new reality. We know this cosmic drama can seem quite bewildering. We ask you to call upon your deep inner resources to find ways to maintain your cool, and above all, your sanity. And know that you are not in this alone. We now take our leave. Blessings, dear ones. Know in your heart of hearts that the perpetual supply and infinite abundance of heaven are indeed yours. Salamat Majan. Salamat Kasijaram. Syrian for rejoice. And be blessed in love and joy.